How have you learned to adapt when things have not worked out as planned?
You know, going back to my weight loss, when I was a heavier man and I was a much less healthy man, I wasn't able to handle change that didn't go my way. I wasn't able to handle that as well. I'd actually get a little bit more angry, and my blood pressure was probably spiked a little bit more quickly. I wasn't taking care of myself. Now I do that, so I feel like I have a really good handle on that. But in political life and in public service life, so often things just don't happen your way. And so you need to be able to adapt and overcome. I constantly think about how do we just adapt and overcome? How do we move forward on this? The people that I admire the most were the people who are able to say, when faced with a huge challenge, when suddenly a barrier gets in front of them, an unexpected barrier gets in front of them, and they're able to just to go like this. Okay, and then they just move on. It's just they take in one breath. They take some slight pause, and then they move on. Sometimes they don't even take the full pause. And I want to be more like that. I want to be one of these people who can deal with barriers. What I'm realizing now as I'm getting older, not that that's a good thing, but I'm so introspective that I'm constantly trying to learn from all these experiences. And I'm starting to see that as barriers come up in front of me, I'm able to negotiate around them more quickly because I've got all this life experience, because I've got all this background and all these other incidents that I can point to in my life where I have had to deal with those. And overcoming that barrier and adapting is not as hard every time because I've done it before. Mm-hmm. And I think to myself, boy, when I'm in my 50s, it's going to be really good.
Could you give me an example of one of those times?
You know, during Hurricane Katrina, when we were doing our relief effort at the convention center and I was working with Mayor Wynn, there were so many times that something just popped up in front of us and we just had to figure out how to deal with it. You know, there was a kid that was there that was at the convention center and he needed some special clothes. He was an extra large guy. He needed some extra large clothes, and I mean 6, 7 extra large clothes. And so I realized that we weren't getting those clothes donated. And we had to find some way to get those clothes donated to us because we just didn't have that size of clothes for this kid. He was a big fella. He came from the Gulf Coast. He came from the New Orleans area. He liked to eat. And, you know, he was in a tough spot because here he just got flown to Austin, Texas to get help. So we picked up the phone and we called some of the stores that carry clothes that are that size. And we didn't take no for an answer. And I just kept working at it. And every time somebody would say no, I'd find a way to call back and get somebody else on the phone and maybe have a different tone in my voice so we were going to make sure we got what we needed. And I wasn't going to let any barrier stop me. As much as I like to be forthright, as much as I like to be positive and be transparent through all these processes, I also really like to win. I know that if I am on the right side of something, I want to win. I want to try to help people get what they need when they're in, when they're in need, and I wasn't going to let no be the answer on that one.